Hi, this is Miss Wright again, and I am going to continue my look at Lord Capulet's characterization and also include some information from the feminist lens point of view. And just for my students, there are many lenses. I'm just trying to use some of the most obvious lenses just to give you an idea of how to begin applying um, the lenses. So throughout the play, I might use a psychological lens or Marxist lens, and here I'm using the feminist lens only because it seems the most appropriate. Okay? Okay, I did a completely crap job when I was trying to close up the previous video. So I'm going to go over those questions one more time and try to do a better job. So it says, what is Capulet's mood in the passage? Well, he seems to be in a very good mood, a very positive mood, right? Despite the fact that he's been reprimanded by the prince and he's supposed to be a good boy. He seems to be taking it very well. He's being very convivial, very generous towards his daughter, 3 times mentioning that she should have some say and marry for love. She should be able to have some affection for the man that she's going to spend the rest of her life with. This is a completely progressive idea. He's also being very accommodating, very nice to Paris, saying, hey, I'm having a party, come to the party and see if you like my daughter. If not, maybe there's other girls there you might like even better. Um, Yet he seems to be a doting father who is not quite ready to let go of his child. And we can understand why he wouldn't want to let go of his child if that's his only child and she's still very young. He may just want to spend some time with her. He's already buried, we don't know, maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 children, and he wants to spend some time with her before he lets her go. The um, the welcoming atmosphere of the second half of the monologue reminds me of Xenia in the Odyssey. I don't know if it reminded anybody else, but makes me think of the Odyssey about how you're supposed to welcome guests and strangers into your home. He's being very accommodating, very friendly, in a kind of classic way that we saw in the Odyssey. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the paired text because that was the whole point of doing this. And now I'm jumping from Act 1 to Act 3, Scene 5, beginning around line 149. And Juliet, unbeknownst to her father, has gotten married at the end of Act 2. And she has consummated the marriage, meaning she had sex with Romeo just last night. And when her mother broaches the idea of marrying Paris to get rid of what they think is her extreme melancholy over her cousin's death, she flips out and she's like, no way, I can't, I'm going, no way, I'm not going to marry. And when her father finds out, we see a whole nother side of Dad. This is not the same side of Dad that we saw in Act 1. This is um, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. This is a completely different character. Now we have Romeo as a round character, Juliet as a round character, and typically the other characters in the play would remain flat or static. But her father doesn't remain flat or static. Her father makes a very abrupt emotional change. And I thought that was part of what made these passages noteworthy. So before I run out of time, let me get to it. How now? How now, chop logic? What is this? Proud, and I thank you, and I thank you not, and yet not proud? Mistress, minion, you? Thank me, no thankings, nor proud me, no prouds, but fettle your fine joints 'gainst Thursday next, to go with Paris to St. Peter's Church, or I'll drag thee on a hurdle thither. Out, you green sickness carrying, out, you baggage. Okay, completely different tone than the previous passage. We have some anaphora or epistrophe, because how now is a repetition. Which includes both ideas. And we have the rhetorical question. He actually mocks her earlier comments um, in this scene. Uh, he refers to her as a minion, which is a servant, someone who does his bidding. So it signifies that she is just his property. And again, we begin to think of the feminist lens and how women are regarded in the society, how females are regarded. She is his daughter, which means she is his property. His wife is his property. His daughter is his property. So all the servants in the household are his property. So when he wants to be nice to them, fine, but otherwise, they belong to him, just like the slaves in the Odyssey belong to Odysseus. Eumaeus, even though Eumaeus was a sweetheart, and Philodeus and the other loyal servants, but they were still his property, and that's why Odysseus could um, kill the disloyal serving maids and remain a man of honor in the sight of the Greeks. Okay? So that idea of women being something, and he equates her to baggage, right? Baggage, like luggage. So the same way you would own a bag that you're carrying things in, she is baggage, and she's baggage for him. He's been feeding her and taking care of her all these years, and she better do what he says. Okay, he refers to her as tallow face, which means pale face, which she would be at this point. She would be in shock, right? Hang thee, young baggage, disobedient wretch. I tell thee what, get thee to church o Thursday, or never after look me in the face. Speak not, reply not, do not answer me. My fingers itch, wife. We scarce thought us blessed that God had lent us but this only child. But now I see this one is one too much, and that we have a curse in having her. Out on her hidlings. Um, okay, so I put that obviously there's a metaphor here when he keeps referring to her as baggage, and that somehow she's been a burden. The exclamation point shows us that it's strong emotion. He is extremely angry at the fact that she has declined his choice for her to marry. He says, look, Wednesday is going to be your wedding day, and he gives her an ultimatum that she better um, get herself ready for that wedding day. There's an epistrophe where it says, speak not, reply not, with repetition at the end of a phrase. We hardly thought it good that God had given us only one child. We thought, why did we only have the one child and all our other children die? But then he says, my fingers itch, which imply maybe he wants to slap her. Maybe there's some violence that he wants to do to her. Um, but it but it seems that one is too many. So he's saying we thought we were um, somehow um, blessed to have this one child remain, but now this child is more than we need to have because she's not doing what we want her to do. And then it says he refers to her at the end as being good for nothing, worthless individual. So talk about a change in a person's attitude. He's really just 180 on his daughter, just complete turnaround. God's bread, it makes me mad. And God's bread is an exclamation. Um, and there's alliteration there. Day, night, hour, tide, time, work, play, alone, in company. Still, my care hath been to have her matched, and having now provided a gentleman of noble parentage, of fair demesnes, youthful and nobly trained, stuffed, as they say, with honorable parts, proportioned as one thought would wish a man, and then to have a wretched puling fool, a whining mammet in her fortune's tender, to answer, I'll not wed, I cannot love, I am too young, I pray you, pardon me. But as you will not wed, I'll pardon you. Graze where you will, you shall not house with me. Look to it, think on it. I do not use to jest. Thursday is near, lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine, I'll give you to my friend. So he's basically saying, if we go back up to the top, if we go back up here, he's saying, day, night, hour, tide, time. At all times, all I have wanted, in all situations, all I have wanted is that you have a good match. He has thought of nothing but making a marriage for Juliet. He has found her a good prospect from a good family. Um, a man who checks off all the boxes. He's attractive. Paris has everything that she could want in a man. He refers to her as whimpering. He refers to her as a doll or a puppet. Um, we have anaphora on the I am too young. I pray. I cannot. He's actually talks to her in a mocking tone for making excuses. Um, Go where you want, but you can't live here. How many parents have said that? It's my way or the highway. You're going to do what I tell you to do, or you have to move on. And in this society, there is no place for Juliet to be if she is not either under her father's house or under her husband's house. She would end up either as a nun or as a prostitute. So this man is making an ultimatum that is quite serious. Okay? Um, he says he's not joking, and he tells her that she needs to prepare to pledge on Thursday, meaning say her wedding vows on Thursday. Look to it, look on it. I do not use to jest. Thursday is near. Lay hand on heart, advise, and you be mine. I'll give you to my friend, and you be not. Hang, beg, starve, die in the streets, for by my soul I've ne'er, meaning never, acknowledged thee, nor what is mine shall ever do thee good. Trust to it. Bethink you, I'll not be forsworn. And I think that last word is of paramount importance, because to be forsworn is to be made a liar. Once he gave his word to Paris that she would marry Paris, because Paris comes back and they make a bargain without her knowing, then for him to go back on his word is a great dishonor, almost like it was with the Greeks. A man's word was his bond. And now this little girl is going to make a liar out of him. And I think this is part of why he has such an abrupt change. It is a matter of honor. So he says, I'm not joking. Prepare to say your vows. If you are my property, I will give you to Paris. If you are not my property, you will be cast into the streets. I will not acknowledge you as my daughter. You will have nothing that belongs to me. You will not make a liar out of me. So now we have the whole theme of honor, and we know men honor, there's masculinity issues that are going on in this play. Okay, I'm about to run out of time. Here are the questions that you need to think about. What is Capulet's mood in the passage? What causes him to change so drastically? Kind of went over that. What does he see himself as gaining? Right? Maybe an alliance with Paris and the family. What does he see himself as losing? If she doesn't comply, he will lose his honor. And how does the feminist lens apply here? Well, Juliet is in a situation where, as a young girl in this society, she doesn't have a lot of power. She has basically no power. And it will foreshadow the end when her ultimate decision is her last powerful act. Okay, I'm done. I hope this helps you,